sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. One more time. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Woo! Good morning. Excellent job. Welcome to Unity on the River. I am Mara Lynch. I am the music director here. If you feel comfortable, please stand and join the hand with the person next to you. This is Surely the Presence.
And let us pray. Let us open our hearts and our minds to the truth of what we are. Part of the divine inspiration, the plan of being the divine and being in love and seeing everything with love and knowing it is all okay. That is why we gather here, to remember the truth of who we are. Through our voices, through our songs, we sing, we celebrate, and we come home to the blessings of the one who was created in the image and likeness of that power, God, essence, spirit. And so we say, thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. You may be seated. Oh, let me get my notes just in case I forget something. Wow, look at all you people. What's going on? Something happening here today? Something is always happening at Unity on the River. I'm going to be facilitating for Michael Mirdad today. And my name is David Tompkinson, and I was ordained into the Baptist ministry in 1971 in Peoria, Illinois. It's been quite a journey to get here. And I am so glad to be here. I want to tell you that. I would like to welcome anyone who is here for the very first time. Any visitors that we have, would you raise your hand? Please raise them high. We'd like to give you a flower and give you a little packet of information. Yes, give them some applause. Thank you for being here. Stand up, everybody. I forgot to ask them to stand up. Or hands up. Keep your hands up. So we always have a few shy people that, I just want to watch what's going on. But we do want you to get a flower, because if you get a flower, you have a 10% discount in our wonderful bookstore out here. So that's part of the business deal that we give for new people who are coming. And we're so glad that you joined us today. Unity welcomes all paths to God. We are a non-denominational church and center of celebration, so we do appreciate everyone who is here today. Oh, by the way, if you happened to be on the men's retreat last weekend, would you raise your hand? That was a talk about a group of men coming together to pray, to share, to develop teamwork. Ogun gave a wonderful talk on Sunday morning. I'll close there. You're going to hear more about it for next year. It'll be twice as many men next year. So let me go to page 2. We are a center of celebration, growth, joy, and we just like to laugh too. So let's say our mission statement, say this together. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the present in all and restores humanity to its divinity. And now let's say our vision statement. Centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. And that is the truth. We have some brief announcements that I would like to give. If I can manage these pieces of paper here. First of all, at 12 p.m. today, Michael Mirdad will be presenting a workshop, Consciously Co-Creating a New Life. So you want to make sure you get to that. Tuesday at 7 p.m., an evening of miracles. Michael will be back here on Tuesday evening. Want you to be aware of that. On September 25th at 12 p.m., self-compassion and caregiving workshop with Gina Janest and Liz Korabek. It's $15. Gina, and are you here? And Liz, would you mind standing, waving? Yep, they're the ones leading the workshop on September 25th. Adventures in Faith. This is our signature fall book program. We'll be dividing into groups in different homes, small study groups. We are studying Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I've read this book, and it is fantastic. The book is available in the bookstore, and we are looking for facilitators who will be leading these groups in the various homes of members of this church. And we do currently have 3 folks who are facilitating. Ogun would like to have 3 or 4 more. Okay. Part 2, that comes later. A lot of moving parts today. Okay. This is our time of namaste where we greet each other in peace. The Christ in me acknowledges the Christ in you. So please stand, and you can make that sign or give a hug, whatever you like.
So please take a breath and center with me. And we will affirm in this music that only love is real. It is the truth of who we are forever and ever and ever. this once more. So finally when we ask our faith that lies in waiting for the call that will open our way from up beneath the ashes, the phoenix comes rising with all the grace in the dawn of this new age. Only love is real. After the illusion fades, only love stands here when the smoke is clear and the world is blown away. Only love is real, not death, not fear, not hate. The only thing that's true, the only thing that's true, when everything is through. Love remains. Only love is real. Only love is real. Please sing that with us. Only love
I should be on now.
is real.
Am I on? You getting? Okay.
Only love is real. It's the truth forever and ever. Only love is real. Bring it in your hearts. Only love is real. We must believe it. Only love is real. Only love is real. Amen and amen.
Thank you, Meg. Oh, you continue to amaze me. How God moves through you. So I get to introduce Michael, but probably most of you know who he is. An amazing man who I think, can't say that he channels, but he certainly speaks. He downloads the truth. He really does. He's a renowned spiritual teacher and healer, the author of best-selling books, You're Not Going Crazy, You're Just Waking Up. Anybody been there? Creating and let me see another book, Creating Fulfilling Relationships and Healing the Heart and Soul, and his newest book, The Heart of A Course in Miracles. All available in the bookstore, by the way. 10% discount for new people here. Michael has transformed the lives of thousands of clients and facilitated thousands of classes, lectures, workshops throughout the world on mastery, spirituality, relationships, healing. And he's rightly noted by many authors as a teacher's teacher and a healer's healer. Please welcome Michael Mirdad.
Thank you. In the words of Jesus to the apostles in Aramaic on the Sermon on the Mount, "Hey!" Hi. It's great to see all of you, and thank you for having me back. Before I get rolling on whatever we roll onto and into, I'd like everybody to tune in for a second and think about what you most struggle with. Even though you've read books about it, do workshops about it, something's still not shifting. What are you most struggling with? Give me a few words so we know what to talk about today. The past. That's over. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The past, patience, worthiness, love. Okay, that's enough. Something along the line, love, peace, patience, forgiveness, open-heartedness. Is that relatively got? Okay. What is it? Jelly beans. And jelly beans. Yeah. I don't like jelly beans. Okay, let's move on to some. I'm kidding. We covered that now. So all things begin and end in who we really are, our identity. If we try to do anything, we're going to fail. So we're trying to get relationships right. We're trying to become more patient. We're trying to be more open-hearted. We take workshops. We do breath work. We do all kinds of things, sometimes really to extreme. And I want to add, it's better that you're doing something for higher good than nothing. The folks that do nothing are absolutely learning the hard way. They're still on the path. They're still learning. It's just more like a christening of the Holy 2x4 on the forehead than an easy way. The easy way is just being in the zone and doing your best, a little more of this and that. But even when we get on the path, we can be a little extreme. And if you find yourself saying, well, I'm on the path now, and now I'm doing yoga, and I'm reading labels on cans to not eat stuff that's not good for me, and I'm meditating and I'm praying, but if you find yourself becoming obsessive about being more spiritual, you're still actually doing. Even though you're doing the right thing, you're still doing. And there's a difference between doing and being. Being, by the way, does not mean you just sit around and do nothing. Well, I'm just being. I used to go to workshops, but I don't do that because I'm just being. You're being worthless. It's an excuse. It's another little game of spirituality, and you just got tricked into something else, again, by the ego, thinking that your being is superior than those who are doing. So there's traps with all of it. Once you get your act together and you start working on yourself, there's a trap of doing too much. Then you start, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be. And then there's the being too much. There's this balance we all need to find. Now, the balance doesn't come from my telling you exactly what it is or you figuring it out with your head. The more we find our center, the more it becomes obvious and apparent what balance is to us. You cannot, with your head, determine what balance is for you. But trying to become more patient, more open-hearted, and so on, more loving, more forgiving, the trying actually is better than not trying. But there's a point where the trying needs to also surrender to breathing it in and becoming. To be and become, rather than still the doing and trying. And again, kudos to the efforts, but there's a point where you've got the breath work and the pranayama and the forgiveness and the chanting and if you don't, heaven help you. I forgot to meditate today. Dang it. Oh, wait, I got to forgive myself. Oh, I judged myself. Oh, now what am I going to do? 3 more Hail Marys and 4 more pranayamas, on and on. It's like all you're doing is the confessional again where you're naughty and you have to make up for it. So there's a point where we say, what am I doing? well, I'm really trying to get my life together. What you're saying is, I'm really messed up and I'm trying to improve. Okay, well, start with, part of you's messed up, but it's not the God part. So where's the God part? The part that doesn't have to do anything to be more spiritual. The part that's okay, it's already okay. There's a part of me that's never been wounded, that's never been hurt, attacked, nor has it ever attacked anyone. So even though I might still do yoga and I might still do this, great. Do those things because they feel good to you. Don't do them to become enlightened. Do them because you already are enlightened and you're just doing them because you enjoy doing them. I'm an enlightened or I'm an enlightening person and doing yoga because that's what enlightened people do. I'm conscious of myself and my emotional self because I'm enlightened. That's what enlightened people do. Don't do it to become, be, and then do it. And that's what it means to do without doing. Find a place that's already okay. You know, you can't make yourself look pretty enough, handsome enough to make up for what your ego thinks of you. Ooh, that was good. Somebody write that down for me. I got to remember. That was a good one. Never enough. And you think growing up with your parents, you were never enough. Never enough A's and never enough this. And with other people, never enough income. And this is the one. When the ego self has any voice at all in us, there's never going to be enough of anything. You'll never be this enough and handsome enough and pretty, like I said. And you can never do anything close to enough to satisfy it. Because it is the fault finder. It's the one that, as it were, when we bit from the tree of judgment in the garden, which isn't just a myth, it's not just a historic experience, it's all that and more. Mostly it is something we do every day. We bite from the tree of judgment, you know, and then we say, well, I'm not going to do that anymore. But as soon as you wake up and look in the mirror, you're gone again, you know. You lay in bed, Om Mani Padme Hum, boom, shakalaka boom. I am as God created me. Oh, you gently pull the covers off, you stand. A breath of fresh air, I am. I sing the song, I am. I walk, I look out the window. Oh, the birds, oh my God. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Oh, walk into the bathroom, right? And then the mirror. Oh my God. What in the hell happened to you? And it's a roadmap. Like the song from a rock band, Highway to Hell. I don't know where this is coming from, guys. It's a roadmap, and this is right over here. This is my 6th marriage. These are my children. These, you know, but the job I wanted and didn't get, and it's funny, and yet it's all true. What you see when you look in the mirror, what you think of yourself, what you see and people see, what you see is the sum total of my experiences, which has been said before. I am the sum total of my experiences. I wouldn't say that too loud. It's not actually very good. When you say I am the sum total, this isn't good news. Your body is beat up. The tissue between your vertebra is compressed, it's pressured. There's nerves being cut off. Circulation is being constricted because of plaque in the walls of the arteries. You know, the colon, the respiratory system, everything is dying from the time we get here. Mainly because we have forgotten to be as God created us to be. So I don't really stand and preach to people. I don't do scriptural quotes gratuitously. And the Lord said, and this and that and the other. We are great beyond anything I could ever sing or say. We're great beyond anything any poem ever told you. We are and remain as God created us to be. But as soon as you say the word God, it almost sounds like we're talking religion again. It is a spiritual truth and experience. The good news of the Lord is not the teachings of Jesus in the New Testament, which is what they say. Have you heard the good news of the Lord? It's not the quotes and the scriptures, the New Testament. It's what he was saying that's good news. And what is that? That you are, despite the way anything looks or feels, you are and remain as God created you to be. That's the truth of God. I want to know the truth. I want to meditate until I know the truth. You already know it. Sometimes you're meditating to avoid knowing it, because you're still doing meditation. And then you get mad at yourself if you miss it. Now you know your meditation's an addiction instead of a spiritual experience. When you get mad and judge yourself for missing it. Lighten up. Lighten up. Wow. Centered in God. And here's my center. And there's that light. And this time, that light isn't a train coming at me. This time, that's the light of God, and that's where I'm going. And we want to find God, but there's a little bit of a challenge and a trick, because we can't know God and make decisions that are contrary to that knowingness. We're all hypocritical. Now think about Jesus. Jesus said all these beautiful, loving things. Blessed are the meek and so on. But when you go and look at a red-lettered version, let's say, of the Bible, if you were to highlight, and you look at the red letter, because that's all just his specific statements, his actual words, but then highlight how often he was angry or strong in his voice. It wasn't that often. But when he did, it was against hypocrisy. He didn't have, well, Jesus is having a bad mood. He's angry about this. And some days he's angry about that. No. The one thing he spoke firmly about is hypocrisy. He was using as a metaphor, as an example, the Pharisees, because they claimed to be spiritual, but they were not actually living it themselves. They were the first to drag a woman out to the streets and stone her to death. But they were sleeping with her. It's hypocrisy. Jesus didn't say, don't be sleeping with each other. He said, don't say you're not, and then doing it. So don't put yourself in those circumstances where, yeah, I'm a yoga practitioner, but then you don't do the yoga enough. Then you're going to judge yourself. Something in you is not going to let you off the hook when you mess up like that. So recognize, I am a being who's becoming. I'm awakening to who I really am, and I still slip. It's better to own that. It's better to own, yes, forgiveness, instead of, how do I become more forgiving? How do I become more patient? You are already forgiving and patient. You just don't always act like it. So how do I get my actions to match my knowingness? Not through discipline and shaming yourself. It's actually, when you want it badly enough, you'll actually do it. So what you do is you learn to nurture that desire. Now, think it through and say to yourself, how do I get myself to want to be more patient? Michael was saying, nurture the desire to be that. You sit and think about it and work it, and you talk about it. What would be my hesitation to be more patient? See, if you don't find out why you're not being more patient, you'll never be able to develop the ability to be more patient. So start with honesty. Do some step work on it. Why am I not more patient automatically? Well, that's silly. Of course I want to be patient. I asked you, hypothetically, if there were a reason that you're not more patient, what would it be? And you'd be surprised what'll come out. Well, I mean, people would tend to get away with things more. Oh, thank you. Now we're starting to find out why you're not more patient. Now find out why it is that you're worried that people get away with things if you're less patient. Or if you're more patient, rather. Well, I have to be vigilant. Somebody has to keep things together. And you see what's happening? You're starting to gradually talk about how the tyrant beats down the one that wants to be patient. So actually, you trying to be patient isn't going to work. Because inside, there's already somebody convinced it's a bad thing. You want to stop drinking, you can't just shame yourself to stop drinking. Find out why you do drink. It's a thinking problem, not a drinking problem. That's from AA, not me. That's, it's consciousness. It's all about consciousness. So there's all these false selves inside of us. And we don't take any time to look at them. So we're working to meditate more and become more loving and so on. Stop for a minute and look at the parts that don't want to be that. When you uproot those, you'd be surprised how easy and freeing the rest moves. It moves more freely because the other has been uprooted, seen for what it is. The good news of God is who we are. So there is an I am God within me. There's an I am, and there's also an I am not. There's that which I am and that which I am not. So when I say I need to be more patient, that's actually the I am not speaking. I am not needing to be more patient. There's an I am that is, and there's an I am not. I am patient. I am not needing to be more patient. I already am. Which one are you listening to? The I am not believes that we're nothing but flawed. I am not handsome enough. I am not pretty enough. I am not doing yoga enough. I don't meditate enough. I am not. But you already said, I am not. Who's speaking is the I am not, but we don't want to recognize it. In other words, that's the part where we identify with our ego. And the good news is, the really great news is, that's not real. That part of us isn't even real. It just acts like it. It just thinks it's real. So the truth of God is that who you really are can never change. Doesn't matter what you've done to yourself or others have done to you. Who you are can never change. Oh, thank God. Okay. Whew. You know, you kind of drop into that. Oh, thank God. Remember that in the back of your mind, that can never change. So then, why am I out there reading labels and doing yoga and this and that and the other? It shifts to a calmer place, which is your true center. There's less emphasis on needing to do more and more emphasis on, I'm already good, man. I'm already there. Now I will calmly, from my center, look for where I need to do a little adjustments here and there. See, instead of, I don't feel enlightened, I don't feel spiritual enough, I better go eat differently, I better go do yoga. You can't, reach God with a determination that you've already missed God and go looking for it. Now you're out there on the yellow brick road looking for a heart and a brain and whatever, a partner. Remember, I always say those are the monkeys. The partners are the creepy monkeys in the movie. But, it gets worse. So, but the Oz is the ego that gets us going out looking. And yet, Dorothy, you had it all along. Right? You just click your heels and do a mantra. There's no place like Om. There's no place like Om. That's all you need to do. Dorothy shows us this. You center in and there's no place like home, which is what? God. Despite what whirlwind is going around, there's no place like God. There is literally no place but God. Wow, look at my life. Wow, it's whirling around me. Oh, look, another partner divorcing me. They circle around, They're circling around. We better circle the wagons and protect ourselves. Another this, another breakup, that's a promising next partner, Hey, what are you doing next week? And they're just part of the whirlwind. I don't know, man. They're part of the mess. You're not supposed to go, I am as God created me. No more settling. No more bargaining. No more doing things that are not congruent with this center. It's like, why would I look at it? It's a mess. But humans go, never again will I, and they just get hooked. There I go, just taking the bait again. And no sooner, there's this comedian once that said, God, humans are so weak. They give in to things they say they would never give in to, and they do it all the time. And he says, can you imagine if Gandhi had the same kind of, weakness that the average human being has? He would say something like, that's it. I will never eat again until there is world peace. Oh, is that the Butterfinger? That's it? That's all you got? 1 second of poise? 1 second of center. Now, what I would suggest though is if all you have is 1 second, thank God I found 1 second of center. Now I'm going to work on 2 or 3 or 5 seconds. See, do your best to own your center and then nourish it and nurture it. Don't go looking for it. Find it here and then give thanks when you see it. That helps actually expand it. The rest to me, like to read a book and to do a workshop, and to me, this is confirmation of my quest. I don't go on the quest to take the things. I take the things, I do the things out here as confirmation, as a mirror of my healthiness inside. Take the right workshops because you're choosing to be healthier, not because they'll make you healthy. Is that distinction getting more obvious? I am. I'm not enlightened enough. I am not enlightened enough. So this is promising that I'm going to be enlightened. There are people that sell herbal formulas that tell you they're going to enlighten you. You know, of this kind and that kind. This will do this to you and that. Instead, I am, and these things reflect that to me. God, it's so much calmer. It's so much easier. You know, every day I look out the window of my room when I wake up, and there's so much color and green and beautiful things I've hung on trees and all this kind of stuff. I got fairies that I've hung up in the trees and a little colored glass here and there. It's just an amazing view. And I don't go, God, that view makes me so spiritual. I look at it and go, wow, I am. And it mirrors and reflects back to me goodness. Even if you feel you've never made great choices at all, to be able to go, healthy choices reflect the I am, who I really am, and give thanks. Even if you go, well, I don't have a lot of those. Start somewhere. Right now, you're in a room of good people. So you can go, you know what? I was saying really no good has ever happened to me. Well, now you can't say it. It's great to be wrong about such things. You're already in a room where people are celebrating and singing, and, oh, but that's different. How? Why? And who's speaking when you say that? Your I am or your I am not? I am not in a room of great people. Wow, no wonder you're miserable. There's all this goodness around you, and you would sit there and say, nope. You know, like a pouting kid. No, I will not be happy. You can do that. You can do that. It's just not recommended. I mean, read the label. Yeah. Double doses of misery are not recommended by this company. You know, it's just not recommended. And yet, we've all had moments of that. And that's hurt. That's what hurt and trauma does. That's what this world tries to do, is wear you down so that you forget and lose sight of your center. To the point where, from the time you're little, the world is weighing you down. This place, one of the primary laws is gravity, which comes from the same word as grave, which comes from the same concept as death. So this law of gravity, it's weighing on us. From the time you get here, you're already heading for the grave, which is very bleak, but it's a lie. It's what world the ego's trying to create to make us feel hopeless. Our job is next to impossible. And in a way, it is impossible. Our job is to say, despite the weight of the world, I feel light. Despite the whirlwind, somehow I feel at peace. That's what our job is. But the good news is, again, that which is impossible for man is possible for God. So my recommendation is that you don't try this alone. See? Don't try this at home, right? Don't try this alone. Do everything with God. God, the world is just weighing me down. God, there's so much going on. God, the news and what it's telling us. You know, wow, it's so heavy. And every report is telling you this. Sometimes it's things like the weather, and other times it's, you know, catastrophes. Other times it's presidential candidates. Right? You have to vote between dangerous and scary. And I always say, and you don't even know which one is which when you say those words. But what is that? That's mirroring to us something else. Wow, where have we gone? The world is trying to convince us there's no There's just no hope. And when I say the world, I mean the world, but I mean also the mind in us that created that. We were beat down when we arrived from other lifetimes, for that matter. So when we get here, there's only this little spark in that child. And it doesn't take long for the world to just beat that down too. Hi, little honey, how are you? Oh, you're so cute. But really, people are saying, and you don't stand a chance here. Hi, honey. Oh, you're a cute. Well, how old are you? 3? Well, pretty soon your parents will be divorced. You're going to take it as though it's your fault, even though it has nothing to do with you. You're going to personalize it because you'll be old enough to start personalizing things, and you'll take it as your fault. Then what you're going to do is meet somebody and fall in love when you're like 15, and it'll be a little crush, and then you'll be crushed because that person is going to be your way to compensate for the dad that left the house or the mom left, whatever. And then you'll get to be an adult, and then things go really poorly at that point. But if you hang in there long enough, you'll have a lot of pain in your body before you die. A Course in Miracles says, this world is a place where the starving come to die. You see? The thirsty and starving come to die. It's not trying to be bleak like it's sounding. It's saying that is the world that the ego promises you. Nothing, no hope but pain until you die. And our hope is that, I've heard people say this, I just hope I'm not in pain when I die. Our hope is just to not be in too much pain, but we're accepting the inevitable. And that's not miracle consciousness. We need to be talking about how we can feel free and alive while we're on earth, not just to hope we don't die in pain. Or, one of the famous lines from people, I just don't want to die alone. If I had to choose between dying alone or having somebody there but they're totally dysfunctional, I would like alone. Yeah, I'll take alone. Door number 1, Monty. Well, tell him what he's got. Well, you have aloneness, but you'll be peaceful and at one with God. I like it. You know? The other people that bargain away their center. Oh, they think they get, door number 2 or whatever. And wow, tell them what they get. Oh, well, they're going to have partnership. Dysfunctional, codependent. You'll be miserable inside and you'll come back with them in another lifetime. Like, wow. But there is one way to do this right. And it isn't anything I can tell you about the outside that does it right. It's knowing who you are. As I began, I go towards the end. It's our center. Who are you? Who are you really? Okay, well, I'm a child of God. You're not just a child of God. You're the child of God. And if you think royalty is wealthy, God is very wealthy and is the king the king, let's call it metaphorically, which makes us all princes and princesses of that king. We are inheriting all that God is. It's not just a theory or a nice biblical passage that I'll quote. This is the truth. You are actually an inheritor of what God is. And it doesn't have to be doled out, so we don't have to fight over it like children do over their parents' will. It's actually unimaginable because God's presence doesn't get divided between us. And the more of us there are, the less each of us gets because it gets divided. See, that's actually religion that says that. Only so many of you get to heaven. And that's good because there's less to be shared and divided. No. We forget what is miraculous in consciousness. God gives each of us its full kingdom. Well, wait, it can't give us, if it gives me the full kingdom, the rest of you got nothing. That's linear thinking and human thinking. God gives Michael 100% of an inheritance of who he is. Thank you, God. What about them? I'm giving him 100% and her 100%. How do you divide 100% times all of us and we all get 100%? It doesn't make any sense. Great, because it shouldn't. Because that's human thinking. All of us, even people that aren't on the path today, are going to end up getting a full 100% of all that God is. And when they do, they're going to have the same ahas you have, although you're maybe on the path learning the easier way. It's kind of amazing. Because even the people that struggle, you've struggled once before, and if not this life, in another lifetime, to believe and to grow spiritually. But the key is, I am as God created me, but do I act like it? My job is not to forget who I am and go make myself be, but I am. Affirm the I am. I am that I am. And I am as God created me. And that makes it easier than to do the doings. Do your best to stay in the I am and make your actions match the doing. That's all. I find it difficult to forgive, because that was one of the comments made as well. Forgiveness. You are not capable of forgiving. Not that you are not. It cannot forgive. That which I am not cannot forgive. Because that which I am not is too angry and hurt to forgive. But then again, I already said that's who I am not. Well, that's good news. So now it doesn't matter that I have a hard time forgiving, because that's the part I am not. Excellent. Now I am not getting older. I am not this, I see. I'm not a failed parent. That's all the I am not. Very cool. Centering in. Then who am I? Best to say, I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. I'm going to ask God to remind me. And you can sit there and go, okay, God, you tell me who I am. Oh, I'm a glorious. You're starting to answer again from your own self. Even though you make it nice words. I'm glorious and I have a golden aura. Stop and just say, show me who I am. And generally what happens is a shift in feelings, not visuals. The visual special effects are cool. But if you don't feel a shift in your feelings, the special effects aren't really that cool. I saw a golden aura, but I'm still a jerk. That doesn't really, that doesn't really do it. I want a feeling. I want a shift inside. Golden aura or not. I want to feel different. Like all of a sudden, all the doing falls away. All the need to be prettier or handsomer. All the need, I can even have an ache in my body and be at peace. So instead of God, I'm deciding to be spiritual now. I would appreciate it if you make me pain-free. That's what we think prayer is supposed to look like. As you know, some of you know the word, Aramaic word for prayer, the Aramaic meaning meant to capture, not to trap God. That's what a lot of the scholars of Aramaic say, that prayer means to trap. That's not a good interpretation. I don't want to trap God. I want to capture God. See, it means, they sound similar and they seem to mean the same, but they're not the same. To trap God doesn't have a good feeling to me, but to capture, to grab hold of. That's prayer. So my prayer is supposed to be grabbing hold of God. Why would I do that? Other than to feel that presence. Why would I want to capture God? Why would I want to grab hold of God other than to feel that presence? Well, humans don't. Humans try to capture God and say, listen, in case you didn't pick this up, here's what I want. I want this person to come back. I want that person to go away. I want that car. That's not God. We confuse God and Santa Claus for some reason. Here's my list. But instead, seek first the consciousness of God is what seek first the kingdom of heaven means. Seek first the consciousness of God. Okay, where is it? Practice sitting at peace with who you are. Practice centering confidently. Now, some people will tell you, don't do anything more, don't read any books, don't do any work, just practice, centering. No, you still want to do, but it comes from this place. The whirlwind swirls around. You can still do a relationship. But when you do, you ask a relationship that resonates with this, not this part of you. I'm choosing relations that feel right here. They resonate with who I am rather than who I am not. And what we do is, and that's really addiction. Addiction preys upon that which we are not. So when you try to do drugs or alcohol or relationships or sex, anything that's outside like that, that's a stimulant or sedative, do you understand what that is? Whenever I determine that I am not, then anything I do now outside is going to be for one of two purposes. As soon as I believe I am not the center of God, that as soon as I forget that I am the center of God, as soon as I forget that center, I'm going to need something to either sedate the pain it brings up in me or stimulate me to make me feel a synthetic version of that beauty and that excitement. See, here's my joy and happiness right here. When I forget who I am, I start to drift. I am not happy. Oh, wow, that made me feel a bit more happy. Or that took away the pain of not being happy. People, sex, drugs, all these things are stimulants and sedatives to help us deal with forgetting who we are. That's the genesis, that's the root to all forms of addiction, including relationships. Which again, can sound pretty bleak. Then stop doing it. If you don't like hearing about it, try not doing it. And instead, everything I do and everything I choose in my life will not go out there to look for that which will sedate or stimulate, but rather that which already resonates with my joy. As a guy said once, follow your bliss. Use bliss and joy as your compass inside. Not what you're looking for, but what you are. Now, the danger is this. If we cannot feel any sense of joy or do not know what it looks like, pick a different word, pick peace. I don't know what peace looks like, but you must have at least a glimmer of an idea of what this is to be able to weigh things by it. So if you feel so hurt and traumatized by things on earth, you will not easily be able to identify with what center means. Therefore, you'll be more easily pulled off. Does that make sense? So what I would do is say, you know, God, that's my prayer today. I don't even know what peace looks like or feels like. I just can't even imagine it, which is actually not possible, and I'll explain that. But that's how we feel sometimes. My advice then would be, you show me. I don't feel joy at all, and I'm supposed to use joy as my compass. Well, I've got no compass because I don't feel joy. How could I feel joy given the things I've gone through in this lifetime? That's how some of us feel. So I don't know, but show me. And the advice God would give you is to start with this. Just imagine. Just imagine that you did feel joy. Granted, you don't know what joy looks like. But if you did know what joy looked like, what would that feel like? Start with your imagination. Start just pretending that you know what joy would look like if you ever could feel it. And that is going to be a brilliant start, because you will have just downloaded a drop of that. See, when you imagine it, you're actually becoming it. So when you imagine what joy would look like, well, I've never even felt happy, which is a human version of joy. How could I know what joy looks like when I've never even known a little bit of happiness? Imagine it. Imagine it. Just imagine that. How would you feel? How would you carry yourself? Literally make up little stories. So if I did feel really joyous, but I don't, but if I did, what would it look like? I guess when I walk, my hands would move a little more. You know, maybe I would kind of hum a little bit, you know. Or like Earth, Wind, and Fire says, you know, when you feel down and out, sing a song and it'll make your day. So picture singing a song. Fine. I'm singing a song, but I'm still miserable, so I'll just move along, you know. But when you do that, you might find yourself, even make it extreme, and you might find yourself laughing a little. And then going, oh, I think I just felt happy because I was kind of feeling light. And if that's all you get, trust me, it'll change your life. You have to start somewhere. Stop starting outside, because that's why you keep ending up in the same place. There's this thing, I don't feel my center, so what's happening? I'm getting pulled off, and then the mutual dysfunction comes along. Oh, look, you look like you're screwed up as I am. Well, let me keep up with you. You know, and you marry the person. But instead, right here, and the suitors, they just let them fly, man. Let them go. Let them soar. The addictions. Don't fight the addiction of alcohol or drugs. Don't fight it of yourself. I of my little self am nothing, and I can't fight it. It's my little self that even was attracted to it. So this isn't the same me. But the part that I am is immune to any of it. Complete opposite story. Thank God that I remain as I am. And I have absolute full power in that I am, that which I am, to defeat any of this, because it's all a joke to that which I am. It doesn't hold a candle to my power, my strength. So I'm centering in that, and that's the solution. The solution is found in who we really are. Please remember, your identity determines everything else. People will tell you that thinking determines what you do and what you experience in your life. No, it's your beliefs first. Then the beliefs create thinking, and then the thinking creates, and so on. But it starts in your beliefs. So go ahead and sit around and do your best to think positive thoughts. But if you don't believe in who you really are, the positive thoughts are going to be just trying to compensate for your lack of knowing and believing who you are. You've got to nurture that true, I actually believe that I am as God created me to be. And even if I doubt it, I don't care. I still know it's true. There has to be this confident knowing. And we say, but my actions don't match. Don't shame yourself for them not matching. Give thanks for each one. You start to get in alignment. Like we're talking about this afternoon. Co-creating with God a new life. People keep doing seminars on how to better their life and how to envision a new life and how to get more cars and more success. That's not my angle at all. That's not my thing at all, because it doesn't keep you happy. What it is we co-create. We don't create a new life, we co-create a new life, because that which you do not do with God is fleeting, and it's more addiction. That which we do from our center with God is permanent. And even when the form of it, because on earth things still end and change, even when the form of it changes, I created a wonderful partnership, they still might pass away. But the love didn't change when they did, like it does when it's not coming from our center. You see? And the health might change after so many years. But it's a funny thing, because I still feel alive. I still feel peaceful. I don't know how. I don't know why, but it's fantastic. When I say I don't know how, it means sometimes it seems miraculous, and it is. That's what miracles are, and we all deserve them constantly. Miracles are here to restore us to who we really are, because sometimes we forgot. So let's start soaking them in and recognizing that we're not only deserving of miracles, we're capable of having them all the time, and what's even better is sharing them with others. Please take a few centering breaths. Take a couple of nice, deep centering breaths, and first think about that which you are not. Think about the things you do when you are not who you really are. Think about the silly, addictive things. Think about the mistakes. Think about the weight and the karma, the heaviness. Breathe into it, guys. Breathe in, and then let it go with a sound. Good. Do that a couple of times with a couple of sounds. Good. See? That which I am not. Even the part of me that tries to perfect myself. God, I'm always trying to meditate at the same exact time, and I'm trying to do this and link up with, global meditations, and I stand on one foot and I do pranayama. Breathe all that out. Just knock it off. Oh, jeez, trying so hard. Isn't it kind of ridiculous? It's okay to laugh at it, because you look silly doing it all. You breathe till you pass out. You eat things that just make you feel all, deficient, because you try to be a breatharian. Just stop and say, I don't know my own best interests. I don't know how to be as God created me to be. Just try that. And deeply relax into that. I don't know. Egotists tell you you shouldn't say, I don't know. You should say, I know. I know what's best. They're not running this meditation. I don't know. So try another route, guys. I don't know. Because when I say I don't know, it's that which I am not that doesn't know. I don't want the I am not to lead my life. So that little self, I don't know. That's why some cultures put their forehead to the ground when they pray. It means the little self knows nothing. I bow in humility to who I really am and what God created me to be. Bow to the ground and be humble. Bow to the ground. Bring the addict to the knees and forehead to the ground. Bring the codependent. You can keep it as your secret, what you're thinking and doing right now, but bring that self to the ground, man, and put the forehead to the ground. Even the part of us that thinks it knows everything, bow before the Lord. Bow thine heads. Put the addict of every form to the ground. Have an attitude of, forgive me, but you're speaking in a sense to yourself. Forgive me my insanity. Forgive me my forgetfulness, my amnesia. Bow to the ground the people you've been with, slept with, dated, married. Bow to the ground all those beliefs and all those actions that you feel guilty about or ashamed of. Bow to the ground things that were done to you and hurt you. Bring them all down to the ground. Let them pour out the third eye and into the ground to the Divine Mother to be neutralized. Feel the weight of them rolling out like weights off your shoulders, neck, head. Let it all pour out. Empty yourself of the past. If there's anything remaining that is part of that which you are not, in other words, if there's any memory or experience that you still have in your mind that doesn't feel like joy, peace, love, let it surface in your mind and let it pour out as well. Give it to God. I'm only emptying that which I am not. I don't have to defend it or deny it or minimize it. I just let it go. I let it pour out of myself. Losses and griefs pouring out. That which would have seemed like it had power, it pours out. And then, whatever amount, whether it's 100% or only 20% you feel poured out, you are now lighter. Now that we've removed things, what are we going to replace it with? I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. Beloved Father, Mother God, I rise to be given from you to me a gift of memory and restoration of who I am. I see myself rising, my forehead off the ground. I don't fill myself, I'm empty. And I lift myself up and I get off my knees and I stand. And I visualize my arms open and say, here I am, God. Here I am. I am as God created me. I will to be the Christ on earth. And I visualize and feel this light overwhelming and just filling through my head, pouring down into me. If I only emptied 20% of myself, then it fills that space. But if I can imagine I completely emptied, then it starts pouring and filling my toes and my feet, up my legs, filling every part of me. Every part of my body that has no shame left. It's being filled with light. Filling up and filling up and filling up. But it's not just a visual of light. There's emotion to it. It's called love and peace and joy. They're God feelings. So fill up with that. Let it create tingles through your spine because it's moving through the nerves. Try to imagine that you're just about ready to stand up and just burst with light. My cup runneth over. I've walked through the valley of the shadow of death. And I was afraid, but I didn't need to be. I get it now. It's you are with me. Your presence guides me and it comforts me. And you prepare us a table of gifts of love and prosperity and good relations before me, even in the presence of a world that seems to be so against us. You still brought me back to Eden. And now I live from this place. And God, I'm very well aware that it could take seconds for me to forget this already. So I ask you, God, do all that you can to receive my ego that I keep surrendering so that this doesn't become fleeting as an experience. Be with me and guide me, but help me and guide me on how to maintain this as best I can. This is not a high that will go away. It's a high that's in me because it is me. But show me how to maintain it. And when I slip, show me how to bounce back as soon as possible. I have divine guidance, and that beautiful child of light in me will only ever be able to be in relations that reflect that light and joy. And when it doesn't happen, I don't say that's because other people aren't as good as me. I instead could just continue working on myself. And I see that the world can now reflect my goodness instead of my forgetfulness of who I am. The world can reflect healthy me. And never again will I allow that child of light that I am to date people that don't resonate with that light. I won't even have family members that don't resonate with that light. I am capable of bidding farewell to the entire race if I have to, because I have no attachments. All I know is God first from now on. And Jesus said, it's not a mother or sister or brother. Those who do the will of God are my mother and my sisters and my brothers. So those are the people I choose to know and get and hang out with. And if ever someone to the contrary enters my space, my job is to do my best to see what issues they bring up in me as lessons and release them, the lessons. My job is to forgive them. They know not what they do. It's not about avoiding hurtful people or mean people or people we don't like. It's about loving, forgiving, and healing. But we're still capable of saying, and I'll now move on. I don't have to marry them. I don't have to partner with them. I don't have to work with them. But I do have to do my work when they're in my space and then create a good again. Create a new. And lastly, just breathe into that very idea. The last half minute of our meditation, just imagine that it's already happening. Imagine it's already happening. You're already there, and you can already feel a difference because the people around you in this room have already been created by you and God to represent your new life. They're pretty good people, aren't they? And I'm going to go break bread with them. Isn't that cool? I'll attend a workshop with some of them. That's cool. Have lunch with some or whatever it happens to be. Some laughter, some feedback about the service. I'm going to be in a good space. And then I'm going to keep this, what I feel here, in my life out there in the world. Keep doing that which feels like the presence of love. Breathe that in and imagine for half a minute, and then we'll move into the next part of the service. Playing those mind games.
Govinda, 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 Hare. Govinda, Govinda, Hare. Govinda, Govinda, Hare. Govinda, Govinda, Hare.
Peace on earth. Playing those mind games. Pushing back. Planting seeds. Playing those some kind of dream. Lifting up. Some
Govinda, Govinda, Hare. Govinda, Govinda, Hare. Govinda, Govinda, Hare. Govinda, Govinda, Hare. And I know I am the light of God. And as I stand here now, I am all God wants me to be. I am all God wants me to be. Govinda, 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 Govinda. Govinda, join me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael. Beautiful message. I always feel when I come here, I leave with such gifts, and I am so grateful. Our church has a prayer box which people can put prayers into. So let's go into prayer for a moment and just bring our consciousness to the concerns, the love, the sharing that is represented by the prayers in this box. And we say, thank you, God, that we have a place we can go where we can release and let go. And so it is. Amen. I'd like to introduce the chaplains. If you would mind standing. We have chaplains here today with the stoles. So if you have something you would like to take up in prayer with them, anything at all that is on your mind, and like that connection with another human being, these beautiful people are here to receive that in the back. They'll be in the corners of the sanctuary. Now we're going to affirm our tithes and our offerings. This is the time when we receive the gifts that we return for the gifts that we have received. And we have our offering prayer. Say with me, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We have a special song right now.
This is perfect. It's all in divine order.
We love you, Brian.
We're playing those mind games together, pushing the barriers, planting the seeds, playing the mind gorilla, chanting the mantra, peace on earth. We all been playing those mind games forever. Some kind of druid dudes lifting the bell, doing the mind gorilla. Some call it magic, search for the grail. Love is the answer. You know that. You know that for sure. Love is a flower. Gotta let it grow. So keep on playing those mind games together. Faith in the future, out of the now. Keep on playing those mind gorillas. Absolute elsewhere in the stones of your mind. Yeah, we're playing those mind games forever, projecting our images in space and time. Yes is the answer. You know that. You know that for sure. Yes is surrender. And you gotta let it go. So keep on playing those mind games
Dozer, rocking it. Okay, we're gonna go right into the big song because Andy has a gig and I need Andy, so here we go. I hear the talking inside my head. I don't try to stop it. Oh, I'm glad when I'm aware. And I hear the ringing. I answer the call. Inside that static. Ooh, is a voice so small and it's saying, reach into the love. Another way to be. Follow the light and trust your lead. Reach into the love, even when you feel afraid. Follow the light when you feel you lost your way. Reach into the love. 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 Well, who am I really? I'm more than a name. And all my experience, oh, it still would not be who I am. And the me who sees me, it watches the slide of a life that I choose to put into the light when I'm saying, reach into the love. Another way to be. Follow the light. Ooh, and trust your lead. Reach into the love, even when you feel afraid. Follow the light when you feel you lost your way. Reach into the love. 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 Open up my heart and the pain may show. But open up my heart and the pain lets go. Reach into the love. 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 Reach into the. Reach into the. Reach into the. Andy Dow on the bass, Steve Chigueras on the drums, Keith Pickford, my love Alex Valenti on the keys. Ladies and gentlemen, the Unity Choir, rocking it! And my buddy, Michael Mirdad.
And Maura Lynch.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that is just, oh, I love being here. I want to acknowledge the board members. If you would please stand. There are so many of you that help us run this church. All of you. I just get amazed at how things come off. Well, I want to say thank you to Cindy and Peter who work for the church, and they're just amazing setting this up. Some special people. These folks are angels of the week who have stepped up. Trice, Bonnie, Rena, Tom, Reverend Annie, Barry, Jim, David, Matt, Mark, and Malik. So, and we have a couple of board members. We have a special announcement. So Elaine is going to come up, and Tina to make your announcements.
Thank you. Princess. Namaste. My name is Tina Michaud Gray, and I am running the health fair. We have our second annual health fair that's going to happen next Saturday from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock. We need volunteers to help with setup on Friday night. I will be here after 5 to do that, and then volunteers also for breakdown on Saturday afternoon. We still have a couple more tables left. We have about 35 tables that are already taken, so it's going to be an amazing day, and I hope you all can join us.
Namaste. I stand in the presence. The whole board of trustees is doing the gala this year. I have a whole committee, and everybody's working on all different pieces. And Malik Marrero, who is a new board member this year, has a story that he would like to tell you, because the first thing that he ever did when he came to Unity on the River was go to the gala before he went to church or anything else. So he's going to tell you about that, and then we're going to give you a special.
Namaste. So in 2015, it was a year that transformation in my life. I was in a place when I created different emotions for myself, but I knew that I needed to change my life. And Unity came into my mind. So I Googled it online, and the first thing that it came in was the gala. $40, said, okay, that's an opportunity for me to get out of my house and have a different experience. I needed to change my life. And I knew that I needed to come over here that day. So I spent $40, have food, saw the experience that is here, and I knew that I needed to come back the next day. Since that day, my life changed. My job was taking everything away from me, family. All my time was just my job. And I started saying, I would like to have a different job and spend more time in church. I had a new job. A job that is, like Elaine said, is not work, it's fun, it's play. I didn't have a car to go to my job, and the financials show up for my job. I only was unemployed for 1 month between changing one job and the other one. Not only that, I had the best part of this. Those $40 not only changed my whole life, but it gave me that beautiful woman right there. So, the gala not only changed my life and gave me an opportunity to be a new person, and now I know the truth, I live that truth. And I'm telling you, just take the time, enjoy that day, put the money into good fun, good food, good family, good friends, and a good music. That's what I say to you. Thank you.
And he was worried. And he was worried about being nervous. For today, because we often have a lot of people who don't come to church regularly, and because the gala can change your life. It's a transformative experience. We are having a one-day flash sale. The tickets for the gala are ordinarily $50, $45 today in the bookstore, so run right on out there and get your gala ticket, and I hope to see you at Roma on November 12th, 6 to 11. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Elaine, Tina, and Malik. Let us stand and we'll sing our peace song together.
God
I forgot to bless the tithes and the offering. So can we just consider them blessed? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we are richly blessed. And one final thing. The children are not here. We are going to have our hospitality, the regular snacks and so forth. If you want to have the $5 Italian dinner, you can get that and then walk outside over to the transformation room. And that's where we'll have the table to sit and have the meal. Thank you all.